The air in the sanctum sanctorum hung heavy, not with dust or stillness, but with a palpable tension, a hum of ancient, unwelcome magic seeping through dimensions. Stephen Strange stood at the epicenter, his cloak barely stirring, eyes fixed on a shimmering tear in reality that pulsed with an ominous, violet light. This was no ordinary breach. It was a tendril of raw, untamed chaos seeking purchase in their world. He knew conventional wards would only delay it, and brute force spells might exacerbate the instability. This moment called for something different, something deeper, drawn from a source few dared to even acknowledge. Strange took a measured breath, his gaze unwavering. He wasn't merely preparing to cast a spell, he was preparing to utter. For his power, in its most profound and versatile forms, wasn't conjured from rote incantations or intricate gestures alone. It stemmed from the forbidden words of the Black Priests, ancient resonant syllables that spoke directly to the fundamental forces of the cosmos, bypassing the typical pathways of sorcery to command creation and dissolution at their very essence. It was a power earned through harrowing trials and knowledge that weighed heavily on his soul, each word a pact with forgotten truths. As the violet energy began to coalesce into grotesque, writhing forms, seeking to breach the threshold, Strange did not raise his hands in dramatic flair. Instead, a low, guttural sound rumbled in his chest, a single, potent syllable escaping his lips. It was a word of primal genesis, heavy with intent. And with it, the air before him ignited, not in a chaotic explosion, but in a controlled, majestic surge of pure, mystical fire. This was not a flame conjured from a spark. It was a fire born from the very concept of heat, ethereal and consuming. It spread like a living current, a barrier of pure, contained immolation that licked at the encroaching chaos, not burning it away, but reshaping it, compelling it to retreat with its unyielding presence. The violet forms recoiled, their ethereal substance momentarily recoiling from the raw, absolute heat, a testament to the power of a word that commanded the elemental core of flame itself. But the chaos was persistent, shifting tactics, and from the edges of the retreating tear, tendrils of the violet energy transformed, taking on a corrupt, parasitic life, reaching for the artifacts and protective sigils within the sanctum. This required a different kind of negation, a silent undoing. Strange's lips moved again, barely perceptible, forming a sound that seemed to absorb all other noise, a whisper of utter finality. Nihil. It was a word of unmaking, of turning form back into void. As the syllable dissipated, the reaching tendrils, robust moments before, began to unravel. Not burning, not freezing, but simply ceasing to be. Their vibrant, malevolent hues faded, their very structure disintegrating, turning into a fine, dark dust that floated harmlessly before vanishing into nothingness. This was organic disintegration, a power to unweave the fabric of being, to return complex structures to their base components, a terrifyingly precise and absolute form of nullification. The tear in reality pulsed again, desperate, and from its depths now emerged not fire or corrupt life, but a surge of liquid chaos, a torrent of pure, unbridled magical force threatening to overwhelm the chamber. Strange's eyes narrowed. This required containment, a sudden, absolute stillness. He spoke again, a word that seemed to draw the warmth from the very air, a term of absolute stasis, frigus. With it, an unnatural chill descended, not just in temperature, but in motion itself. The surging torrent of violet energy didn't merely freeze, it crystallized. Sharp, intricate shards of pure ice, radiating an eerie, mystical luminescence, erupted from the heart of the liquid chaos, locking it into an unmoving, silent sculpture. This was ice generation, an elemental command that didn't just manipulate temperature, but enforced an absolute cessation of motion, turning fluid energy into solid, unyielding stillness. Yet even contained, the core of the tear throbbed with a malevolent intelligence, attempting to project a psychic assault, a wave of disorientation and fear. Strange felt its tendrils probing his mind, seeking weakness. but he had faced darker things. This final command would not be one of destruction or containment, but of pure, absolute control over will. His voice, though low, carried the weight of ancient authority, a single, unyielding utterance, sistite. It was a word of binding, not of the physical body, but of intention, of action itself. And as he spoke it, the psychic tendrils faltered, then froze. The intelligence behind the tear, though still visible, became utterly inert, its malevolence trapped within its own form, unable to act, unable to think, caught in a silent internal prison. This was paralysis, a power that transcended physical restraint, reaching into the very will and purpose of a being, rendering it utterly incapable of motion or malicious intent. Slowly, carefully, Strange then allowed the controlled elements to dissipate, the fire receding, the dust settling, the ice melting back into harmless vapor, the paralysis fading. The tear in reality, robbed of its impetus and its power, began to recede, finally winking out of existence, leaving behind only the faint scent of ozone and ancient magic. Stephen Strange's command over these elemental forces, achieved through the profound and potent words of the Black Priests, showcases a versatility that moves beyond the conventional. It is a nuanced dance between raw power and precise utterance, a testament to a unique path of sorcery that speaks directly to the fabric of reality itself. Each word is a key, unlocking a specific, absolute command over fire, decay, ice, or will. It's a power born not just of study, but of a willingness to delve into the most ancient and often forbidden knowledge, accepting the weight that such understanding brings. The sanctum was quiet once more, the crisis averted. Strange stood, a silent guardian, his mind already reflecting on the immense power he had just wielded and the responsibility it entailed. It's a delicate balance, this dominion over elements, particularly when those elements are summoned by words whispered from the dawn of creation. We've explored just a few facets of Dr. Strange's extraordinary powers today, focusing on how the unique words of the Black Priests allow him to command elemental forces in ways most sorcerers could only dream of. What are your thoughts on this fascinating and perhaps unsettling aspect of his mystical abilities? Do you find this approach to magic more compelling than traditional spellcasting? Share your insights and theories in the comments below. We always appreciate hearing from you. Until next time, keep exploring the hidden depths of the mystical world.